Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. I really want to thank the business people for sharing this video, sharing our YouTube channel with their friends, their fellow business partners, their fellow business people. We've seen you and we really appreciate it. Thank you for coming back. So if you like what we are doing and you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we ask that you subscribe and then you shall be the first person to know when we post a video. We post 2 videos every week that touch on personal and business success. So welcome. Today, I would like us to talk about a very important topic to any business person or even you that want to grow in your career. And we want to talk about how to manage your time better and get the most out of your day. Now, how do we become successful? What's the difference between the person who is trying to be successful and Mark Zuckerberg? What's the difference between the person who is trying to be successful and that dollar millionaire? The difference is how we spend our time, really. Largely is how we really spend our time. And I've learned, I've watched, movers and shakers in the world, and I've seen how they spend their time. Without wasting too much time, let's get down to how do you manage your time, your 24 hours in a day, to get the most out of your day. And number one is to set goals and give them timelines. If you just wake up and start running your day without goals, you're running it haphazardly, then you're setting yourself up for trouble. You need to wake up in the morning. I've always advocated for a morning routine, and in that morning routine, set your goals for the day and give them timelines. For example, you could say, today I want to write, I want to develop an online course. So I, Betty, want to develop an online course. What's the course going to be about? Then I'll write down, and then I'll say, by when do I want to finish this online course? So if I want to do it in 10 hours, then I need to indicate 10 hours. If I want to do it in 2 days, I need to indicate 2 days. So give yourself timelines. The reason why we don't meet our goals is because we set them. Then, of course, we don't give ourselves a timeline. So whatever goes, whatever wins. If we finish, it's okay. If we don't finish, then it's okay. And then that now sets you up for failure. Number 2 is to focus on one activity until you finish. I know focus is hard for most of us. Focus can be really hard, and especially for people who have a lot of ideas. A lot of ideas are oozing out of your head, a lot of things to do at one point or the other. You spread yourself too thin. And then you find that at the end of the day, you've touched on this one a little, you've touched on this one a little, you've touched on this one a little, but you can't really show something you did for the day. So what I've learned to do is to focus on one thing. I do that one thing, I finish that one thing, and then I move to the next one thing I want to do. So if I want to read a book, I'll tell myself in the next 1 hour, I want to read a book. So I'll sit, read my book for 1 hour, and then I'll put that book aside, and then I'll want to do an online course, and then I'll finish, and then I want to do lunch, focus. Look at one thing. And I would like to address those of us who want to start businesses, and you're starting 10 little different businesses. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because it means you are too wide, too shallow. When you focus, it means you are narrow but deep. You are just here, but you are deep. And any day you are deep, then that means you are giving value. Number 3, how do you spend your time better in the day and make the most out of it? Number 3 is to remove distractions. Sometimes this week, there was a power outage in our offices. And so at some point, we didn't have power. And I decided not to charge my phone. So for 3 hours, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a laptop. And the feeling, I decided now that I don't have a phone and I don't have a laptop, I'll do something that I can write. I'll develop something. For the day, I had a goal to develop something. So I decided, let me get out my books and do this. And I can tell you that's the most fulfilling feeling you can ever get. Your phone doesn't control you. Your laptop doesn't control you. It feels good to put them aside and do something constructive. So you could actually put your phone on silent mode or put it away, put your laptop away, put those things, switch off that TV and read a book, switch off that TV and have a conversation with your spouse. Remove distractions so that you can have a better day. Some of the distractions, the phone, the emails, some of us, we don't schedule what time to read the emails. So every time there's an email, popping up on your desktop and you're just reading and you find yourself wasting a lot of time because there's an email that needs you to reply, you start replying. Before you finish, there's an SMS that needs you to reply, you start replying. Before you finish, there's a YouTube, something that has popped up and you start watching. So then you become a distracted person and you can't focus. So it's important to schedule. You can even schedule social media posts. I know you know that. You can schedule Facebook posts. You can schedule that I want to read my mails twice a day and this is the time I'll be replying. That's a powerful habit for the people who want to be successful. And then of course, you need to be intentional. Point number 4, you need to be intentional with your news consumption. What is it you're consuming? I say that you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your emotions. You need to take care of where you are going because you're the captain of your own ship. What are you consuming? Are you busy reading everything going on Insta? You're busy reading everything going on Twitter, everything going on YouTube. You know everything going on around. What are you consuming? You are listening to all this negative news and so your mind is not really, optimum for success. It's very important. Check out the news that you're subscribing to. And then I found a good habit. Sit down, give yourself probably 30, 45 minutes to see the news for the day. And go to Twitter, check what's happening, Insta, what's happening, what's going on. You have an idea of what's going on for that day. So that means you don't need to keep checking every minute what's going on, because you're really going to waste a lot of time. And that information, once it's in your head, your conscious and subconscious mind, they start disturbing you and you're not going to be very productive. And the last point, how do you manage your day? Is to learn to say no. And no is a complete word. N-O. I see a lot of us getting a lot of requests on the desk, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I used to work for the corporate world and, we would be getting into a meeting, we get out of a meeting into another meeting and into another meeting. And the day is consumed in meetings. And by the end of the day, you have too much to do, but too little time to do it. So you can always say no. It's good to find what is most important to me for the day. This is important to me for the day. And then you focus on that. And when tasks that are not, aligned to your goals for the day come, you can always say no. You can always say no to that lunch request from your friend. Some random lunch request, you can say no and then schedule it for another day. Someone has a random thing to tell you, you can always say no and schedule it for another day. It's very important to learn how to say no, especially to things that are not aligned to where you are going, to things that are not aligned to what you wanted to do for the day. Always learn how to say no. So those are the pointers I wanted to share for the day. I'll see you real soon in another video. Subscribe, and share this with your friends, relatives, and those you care about. Thank you very much. I'll see you real soon.